If you're over, say, 45 and you're looking to start strength training but have no idea what to do, where to start, have no idea how much weight that you need to lift, then this is going to be the video for you. Now that is the exact question that I got this week from one of our subscribers, and this, if you've not been here before, is Coach's Corner. And Coach's Corner is where I break down questions that I get from my YouTube community and just answer them. So it's not terribly scripted. I'm not in the gym today. I'm just going to explain to you how to do exactly that. So when it comes to weight training or resistance training in the gym, you kind of need to understand the purpose of what you're doing in the gym, essentially. And when you're in the gym, like, I want you to think about, you're not in the gym to lose weight for a start. You're in the gym to actually build strength, muscle, learn mobility. I always talk about something called creating a reserve for life, because when you lift things in the gym, you're actually making your body stronger, so that when you come to do something in real life, like lift something in the garden or lift up your grandkids or your dog or whatever that is, you've got more of a reserve to do that, because we're losing about, I don't know, say 10% of our muscle mass every single decade after the age of 30. That is so significant, and it's very much the difference between being able to be independent and not be independent. So there's a lot of people out there looking for strength training sessions and how to do it. So on that note as well, if you haven't already downloaded it, I've got a full strength guide that you can follow with every single exercise of the body, very much what I'm going to talk about now as well. So if you want to grab that, comment strength down below, or there may even be a link there. Go there and you get the free download. But the first thing I want to talk about then really is, like, where do you start? So you understand that you need to build some strength. You got your reason behind that, and where do you start? Well, I want you to think about, like, body movement patterns, not so much exercises. So typical gym exercises you see in the gym are people doing like shoulder pressing and curls and all that sort of stuff. But I want you to think about movement patterns, because as human beings, we only do a few movement patterns. We do a squat pattern, which could be just sitting on a chair and standing up. We do a hinge pattern where we bend our bodies forward. We do a vertical pull where you're pulling down this way, or a horizontal pull where you pull towards your body. You do a horizontal push and a vertical push, okay? They're really the only planes that we work in, and you got side, lateral, things like that, but the main ones are those movement patterns. So when you break it down even further, you could do legs, you could do a quad dominant exercise and a glute dominant exercise, and you can do a chest and back and shoulders and arms. So really, you've only got about 7 or 8 exercises really that you need to be doing on any given strength session. Now, I always talk about doing full body workouts because I think they're more time efficient. And I did a video on that last week, so I'll maybe link that down below for you to look at as well. But essentially a full body workout is very, very time efficient. You go in 3 times a week and you hit every muscle of the body, and then you'll be done on your way. So when we're talking about what to do, focus on movement patterns as well. And you don't need to worry about anything crazy. There's so many crazy looking workouts on YouTube and Instagram, all those things. You just need to focus on the basics, because the basic movements that we do every single day are exactly that. And when you get these fundamental movement patterns down pat, then you can start to add in crazy stuff. So I want you to think about, in your mind, of just doing the main 5 or 6 exercises, and getting on with it. Then we got the next thing, how much weight do you use? Well, like, just because you're 60 doesn't mean you've got to use a 5 kilo dumbbell or 5 kilo weight. It's all dependent on us. Now, in terms of rep ranges, I always talk about 12 to 15 reps. And I talk about it to everybody over the age of 40, 45, because it's such a nice place to start. And if you think about it, like, you see a lot of, Instagram, YouTube stuff, like they lift in massive, massive heavy weights all the time, but you could probably get injured, especially if your form is bad as well. So 12 to 15 reps allows you to handle a weight very, very safely, but also give you, I guess, the stimulus on your muscles that you need to get stronger, because that's really what it is. But studies are showing these days that as long as you're working hard in the last couple of reps of an exercise, then you're going to be building as much strength as you want. And if you're not sure what a rep just means repetition. It's like, I do 1, 2, 3. That's 3 reps, okay? So 12 to 15 allows you to have a weight that is light enough to handle with good form, but also become heavy at that last 3 reps. So 12 to 15 needs to be hard for you to stimulate that muscle growth. So if you're doing those, you're going to be very, very safe. So in terms of like how much weight do you use? Well, if you're going to do, say, let's just say you're very heavy and you're overweight right now, then and you're doing squats, like sit to stands or sitting on a chair, standing up, you may not need to use any weight whatsoever because your body weight is heavy enough. And a lot of times people are trying to do press ups and they can't because they're not strong enough, not big enough. So therefore you don't need any weight whatsoever. You just do the movement pattern. And then that means you don't have to have lots of equipment either. You can have a very conservative set of dumbbells, and then you'll be able to do your shoulder presses or your side raises or your curls or your tricep extensions, whatever you're going to do. But you don't need super heavy weights. And if you use that rule of thumb, am I getting tired between 12 to 15? Then you're going to be really, really good spot to be able to build some strength, right? Now, the next thing we talk about is form. Form is really important. And form, like without being form police, it just means how well you can control a weight in the movement. So let's just say, oh, I got a prop around here. Let's just say this is a big heavy dumbbell, right? If I'm doing a shoulder press this way, okay, and I'm arching my back and I'm pushing up this way, and my form is terrible. I want to have my core locked in and I want to be pushing above my head because that is the muscle I'm working, the shoulders and the triceps. And the form needs to be slow and controlled with that movement that you're doing. I'm not swinging and pushing around and contorting my body to get the weight up. So as long as you can do everything with good form in the way it's supposed to be done. Again, if I'm pushing forward like a presser, I'm not arching my back and I'm not trying to squeeze myself into it. It's very slow and controlled in this plane of motion. Then what you're doing is you're using the right amount of weight for a start. The form is really good, so you're not going to injure yourself, and you train good body control as well, and you push in as you need to, pulling as you need to. And form will beat everything. And as you get a bit more advanced, maybe you can add in some cheat reps and stuff, but at the moment it's done. And when your form slips with the weight, then you're done. You finish the set, because at that point, if you try and push through with bad form, you could get injured. So again, form beats everything. Then you're looking at how much frequency per week. So this is again a sliding scale, right? So if you have done no resistance training, like forever, and you did once a week, you're going to be way, way further ahead than doing nothing. But ultimately, we want to be building up to about 3 times per week. We want to be doing strength training 3 times a week. And it only needs to be half an hour, 3 times a week. It's going to be plenty to start. But again, if you get busy and you could only do one, and let's say you did one strength session workout for a whole year, that's 52 opportunities for gaining strength and practicing weight training, and you're going to have a much, much better effect, and you will be way stronger than if you did nothing. So start off with 1 time a week if you want, build up to 3, but again, 3 is probably the sweet spot for most people, right? But again, you don't have to worry about, oh my God, I didn't go 3 times this week. If you're doing a full body workout and you can only do once, you're going to be building muscle and strength by default, right? Certainly if you're a beginner, there's something called newbie gains, and if you start resistance training from nothing, then you're going to be building some strength and muscle. Another thing as well is that because you've lost muscle mass through all that time, you're not building brand spanking new muscle, you're building the muscle you've already lost. You're just getting yourself back to baseline. So you can do that on a very minimum dose a week, all right? Then we've got number 5, which is probably the last thing I'm going to talk about, is progress comes from consistency, not intensity, right? So like I just said, if you're doing it consistently once a week and you do 52 weeks of the year, you're going to be really, really, in a good spot to do that. And it's the accumulation of all those exercise sessions that actually gets you strong. So there'd be 0 point like going 3 times this week and then do nothing for 4 weeks, right? That's not going to give you any kind of result whatsoever. But if you did 1 time a week for 4 weeks, you're going to be significantly stronger week 4 than you are week 1, right? So consistency will always beat intensity. Don't think of it as a sprint. Think of it as a marathon, all right? And, slow and steady wins the race as always. And it kind of feels a bit counterintuitive. You sometimes think we need to do more to get more, but sometimes just doing a little bit less but more consistent will get you further ahead. So this is a fantastic question. I think a lot of people are going to sort of like this question, and they put that into perspective. And if you have any questions that you want to ask me, okay, there's a link down below to a voicemail app called SpeakPipe. You have 90 seconds to tell me what your question is, and I will answer the question for you, all right? This one was a text though, so if you want to leave a comment, and I can jump back and do it through a comment if you're not more comfortable to leave me a voice memo. Now, at the end of my videos at Coach's Corner, some of you who have been around a little while know what's going to be coming next. And I always end off with a secret keyword for those people that stick with me to the end of Coach's Corner. It just lets me know that you stuck around. And today's keyword, and again, looking out my window, I can see two little pigeons dancing around in the middle of the street there. So the keyword is pigeon. So if you got to this far, leave pigeon in the comment. It's really fun as well. I get people commenting like, what on earth are you talking about? It's a bit of fun to watch as well. But pigeon is going to be the keyword today. And if you haven't got my full strength workout, then grab it, because it's basically laid out everything I just said with instructions as well for you to start your strength and conditioning journey. And then I follow up with you for about 30 days, a really awesome little tip of how to enhance that PDF I have. So it's not just one and done. It gives you an opportunity to ask me questions as well throughout that 30 days. It's a really nice way to interact with you guys, which I think is amazing. So that's it from me, team. Have a fantastic day. I will see you on the next video.